Welcome to a special edition of Community Insight, the news that brings you above and beyond the scope. I'm Andre Hollywood Evans, and today our special guest who's running for City Council, yes, she's in the race, and she's running for District 7, and she's going to share her vision with us, tell her what her vision is for Boston. Please welcome Padma Scott.
Thank you, Andre. So, yeah, it's just starting off, I'm new to politics. I'm running for District 7, which includes, Roxbury, parts of Dorchester, South End, and the Fenway. And as you know, like my background really was more kind of an entertainment, like you. I did radio, I did podcasts, things like that. But over the last couple years, all the events since 2020 and everything that happened, I just started getting involved in politics and things in community. There was a candidate that I found at that time that really spoke to me. He was very honest and open about what things were going on. I'd never heard a politician speak that way, so I decided to start volunteering for him. He was running for Senate, and things just went from there. Me and some other people that also volunteered for that candidate, we just, after that was over, we just kind of still stuck together, and we were out, basically protesting things that were going on at the time, all the mandates, the government overreach, and we just continued. And so, we did our thing. We protested mandates, mask mandates, all of it, the COVID mandates, and we just went from there. And in the past year, a few people were telling me that I work with, why don't you run for city council? Run for city council. I said, well, I've never done anything like that before. But then I just thought, well, enough people are telling me, maybe that's what I need to do at this time, just as a platform to stand up, fight, because I feel like as people, as citizens, we're so removed from what's happening in politics. We're so busy with our day-to-day lives, going to work, taking care of kids, everything. We're like really removed. And so we need to get more involved if we can, and more of us need to step up and run for office if that's what we want to do, because if we never do, then it's a guarantee that we're kind of going to be shut out of what's really going on. And we can't have that. We got to stand up.
What is your vision for Boston? What do you hope to see in the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
Okay. What I see is I need an improvement in everything. I'm very concerned about the mass and cat situation.
Yes.
I know everyone is very concerned. I've been down there. I've just talked to people. Everything's going on there. Of course, drug trafficking, sex trafficking, people getting assaulted, women getting assaulted, people defecating in the street, everything. Police are there and they're standing by. I guess they've been they've been ordered not to make arrests. That doesn't make sense to me. You have to arrest people. The drugs that they're selling have fentanyl, all type of things that are killing people. They have to make arrests. These are very simple things, I think, arrests for that. And I feel like as far as people need help, obviously. But they're giving a lot of free housing, and I know this because I've gone and talked to people. But I feel if you're going to be given free housing, I think it should be, the stipulation should be, okay, you need to stay in these programs. We've got to have programs for people. And you've got to stay in these programs. Because if you're just giving out free housing and no program, I feel that you're enabling people. And I honestly feel people are just going to end up overdosing behind closed doors. That's not fixing the problem. People need help. So, I'm very concerned about that. And the whole thing, it's spreading throughout the city. I live in Roxbury. I've talked to my neighbors when I've been out door knocking and just talking to people in the community. My neighbors are telling me they're getting robbed. People are breaking into the homes like 3 in the morning and just going through their fridge, eating because they've got problems. This never used to happen. Like I've lived in Roxbury. I've lived in Boston most of my life.
Okay.
This wasn't at this level. It's getting worse. In the past couple of years, it's gotten worse. Even over near Dudley Nubian Square, out in the open. I live very near there. I have to go through there. I've seen people literally smoking crack pipes just in the parking lot there. Overdose, falling out, people setting up camp there. That was not happening even 2 years ago. What is going on? We have to get a handle on that. I don't know. I know that the mayor recently has put there's going to be an ordinance where they're going to not allow tents down at Mass and Cass anymore. Which I hope that helps. I don't know. Before it was the law was that they had to give them at least 48 hours before they take down all the tents so people can have a chance to regroup. So I'm not too sure about that. But we just can't let it get worse. I'm wondering, like, why can we, it's going to take like at least 5 years to build a bridge, obviously.
Right.
Can we do a ferry? I know there's been talk about possibly a ferry. I don't know if that's something,
Right.
seems to make sense to me. So that's one of the other things I'm really concerned about. You know, you've got kids are kids are walking by. This is near, everyone knows where Madison Gas is. It's near Boston Medical. It's near Orchard Gardens Pilot School. My son used to go there. That's from kindergarten to 8th grade. That's literally right around the corner.
Okay, right.
This is too close to children. Children should not be seeing this. They should not be exposed to this. Clifford Park is right down the street. They're hanging out there. There's needles everywhere. Something has to be done because it was never at this level. So what's going on? You know, that's one of the things I'm concerned about. Very much.
My thing was, I had gotten frustrated at one time or another, because I kept saying, I even mentioned this to Mr. Clifton Braithwaite. Says, well, why do we need politicians? What's the goal of a politician? I always said to get elected. But it seems like they all get amnesia when they make a promise they can't keep, and they say, oh, wait a minute, I never said that.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, politics. People put politics before people when they should have people. Like, you seem like the type of person that would put your constituents before politics.
Definitely.
And that's something we don't really have. It seems like every politician's the same. They all make promises. They all say the same thing, all empty rhetoric.
Right.
And it's like, when is it going to start? Like you said, what's going on?
Right.
But I think the thing is, first it was music, sports was dominated by us, and now we're starting to dominate politics. All us are trying to get into politics. And I think that people have the notion that the more, like you said, we stand up and fight.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't believe that politicians can make a difference. I think constituents can stand up and fight for themselves. Like Mel King once said that people should be their own mayor.
I like that.
You know what I mean? Because if we're individuals, we know what the city is.
Right.
We born and raised in the communities.
Yeah.
We know what it's like to suffer. We know what it's like to be hungry. We know what it's like to be homeless and so on. Why can't we stand up and advocate and lobby against the enemy? You know what I mean? Why can't we just make a difference in our lives, in our communities?
Right.
That's what I see the difference, because it's about people. Look at the LGBT community. Look how they came together, and all of a sudden they're the most powerful. I was like, whoa, how they do that?
Actually, that's a good point. That's a
You know what I
very
mean?
good point.
And that's what I told Clifford. He was thinking, well, you know, you got to have politics. Well, politics isn't everything nowadays. But
True.
I honestly, truly believe that it's up to the people.
I agree.
Whether it's Cambridge, Brookline, Boston, anywhere in the community. Every city, every state, every country has its own community.
Right.
And its own representation.
Yeah, everywhere you live is a community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's up to us, the people. Somebody said to me I was like, what?
Why not? Why not?
I have a platform already. All I got to do is talk to people. Have them come on, guest. You're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a politician. Oh, what do you think we should do? What is your advice would you give to someone who's up and coming, whether it's music, and healthcare worker, whatever. And then all they got to do is give me the information. I just pass it on to the next person.
Nice.
That's what community insight basically is. You know, to give insight as to what you see potentially is going to happen in your community. What would you like to see? And what role do you play in contributing to that fact?
Right.
I don't leave it up to the politicians. I really don't, because they're, like I said, they're all the same. I'm not saying you or Cliff, because you guys are different, not because I know you, but because the honesty, you could see the sincerity in the person, the way they carry themselves. The eyes never lie.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? And it's like, wow, these people are different. So that's why I was willing to contribute and help myself and their communities. Yeah. I get involved with things that are positive, things that I see that's going to move forward, because Boston needs to move forward. Yeah. Cambridge, Brookline, they're a tight-knit community, but we need to move forward. Like the thing with education.
Right.
Like I wanted to ask you, what's your take on teachers being trained to carry guns? And like I saw in the news where the reporter says, well, are you prepared to kill one of your students?
Right.
Where's that going?
That's
You know, I mean, I don't think we've had a shooting here in Boston. Or in Brookline. Mostly other states like Florida, Texas.
Right. Yeah.
But we never had that in Massachusetts, as far as I know. Yeah. What is maybe we need to figure out a way to keep our schools safe, get our teachers back on the job, make them feel safe and secure, get our kids back in school.
Right.
But how do we do that?
I mean,
what would your take on that be? Say if that was an issue that was right in front of you.
Right.
How would you handle, how would you go about, besides passing a bill?
Right, okay.
To get kids back in school, because they're already back in school now.
Right, yeah, they started now. Yeah. They started this week. I mean, first of all, what you said about the teachers, I don't feel comfortable with arming teachers with guns. I feel like, why don't we need cops in the schools.
Right,
we do, we need cops. Watching the kids, and they're trained, and if anybody comes in there with that, they're gonna handle that. I also think gun safety should be taught in the schools. Young kids, it's unfortunate that it has to be that way, but I think it definitely needs to be taught.
Right.
So I definitely agree with that. You know, obviously we have to have a safe environment in school. That shouldn't even be a question. And I feel that, like, can't we have funds for that? I also think we just need more programs for the youth outside of school, after school,
programs.
Especially for teenagers, because I know when I was that age, there just were like programs, I feel like, everywhere. There are community programs just going on everywhere.
PTA meetings back in the day.
Yeah.
Teachers union, teachers would get together and discuss meetings. Like Brookline has town hall meetings to discuss what goes on in Brookline.
Yeah.
Like public access television, what have you.
Right.
Their politics is different, but again, that's a tight-knit community. So that's what I'm trying to express, the point of the individual.
Right.
You know, it depends on the mindset. Like New York doesn't have drunk driving laws. You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They don't have driving
people
laws?
don't drink and drive in New York because New York is so congested.
Right.
And so gridlocked. Nobody drinks. And why would the bars stay open till 6, 7 o'clock in the morning to breakfast time? I'm just using that as an example.
Right.
Because the fact is, the government is different, the mindset. It's all about the mindset.
Okay.
As I said before, every city, every state, every country has its own community, but its own government too. And their mindset's different. No, we're not going to have that. Everybody kind of tight-knits, come together and say, no, we're not going to have that. That's why bars stay open. Clubs stay open.
Yeah.
The L runs 24/7.
24/7,
We don't have that here in Boston.
Yeah.
Boston's a major city too.
I know, and we've never had it. It's interesting. It's interesting. But what I get back to the point you made about community. There's a quote I love by Bayard Rustin, civil rights activist. I'm sure you're familiar. He said, "Every community needs its own group of angelic troublemakers." I love that quote because
I like that.
And seriously, I feel. Any of us.
You consider yourself an angelic troublemaker?
I like the title. If you want to call me that, okay, I'll take it, because every community needs it. That's what myself and the other people, and there's people all over the country in different communities, have done that. If each one of us, imagine if every town and every city in this country, people, just us, banded together, talk to each other and talk to like-minded people and say, well, I don't like this bill. I don't like what they're doing in the schools, or I don't like what they're cutting back funds for the police, or whatever your issue may be. If we come together, be the angelic troublemakers, protest, because what I've learned is they don't listen when you are polite. I'm sorry, they don't. The calling, the emails, the polite, they don't listen. They say they will, but they don't listen. So you may have to make some noise. And that's what me and some others have done. I also have to talk about, just mention Catherine Vitale, who is running for city council at large, and also Sean Nelson, who is running for city council at large, and of course I know Clifton, who's running for city council at large.
Right.
So, you know, we're people. We're everyday people. We are the people.
Right.
We need to stand up in any way possible. For me, running for Boston City Council, it was a tool I was picking up to stand up. You know, okay, I've protested. I will continue. I'll pick up any tool I can. Oh, it's okay. I will run for office, and I will use that platform. And all I can do is present what I stand for in front of people, as many people as I can, my community. And if what I'm saying resonates with you, it's up to you whether you want to vote for me or not. It's, you know what I mean?
Right.
My whole thing is, I was never worried or so concerned about winning, because if you're so concerned just about winning, then you're playing a game. I'm not playing a game. This is not a game. I'm not playing a game. I'll present to you what I know from what I've experienced from being out there and going to city council meetings and realizing what's really going on. Let as many people know, and you can decide if you want to vote for me, or if there's another candidate. Or you yourself, if you want to run, or if you know someone in your community you think he's been doing a lot, he or she's been doing a lot in the community, stand up. Because we're supposed to be, politicians are supposed to be public servants.
Right.
Public servants. The people, the constituents are literally their employer. We pay their salary.
Yeah.
They have to answer to us, and they're not. And so we have to stand up, and you're gonna have to get loud. But you don't. And even as far as getting loud, if enough of us were standing up, if we just band together, not everybody has to be the loudest. It's strength in numbers. Come outside, talk to people, say, okay, well, maybe we want to go down to City Hall, a group of you, and say, hey, we have this issue and this concern. This is happening in my community, the crime, gentrification, or, mass and cast, whatever is going on in community, in the parks all over the city, needles, children all over. Bring a couple of you. It doesn't even have to be a large number. Like me and the other people it was only like maybe 9 or 10 of us. We used to protest in front of Michelle Wu's house in the morning.
Right, wow.
It wasn't even that many, but we made an impact. And just for the record, the reason we started going to her house last year in 2022, started in January, went for a couple months, is because she really did shut down City Hall at one point. There was, when she first came to office, December 2021, she announced that she's going to be coming with all these vaccine mandates, vaccine passports. So a lot of people came out and protested. It was about around 200. So there was also supposed to be, after that happened, and that got nationwide attention, there was supposed to be another rally about that. She, of course, got word of that, and then right after that, City Hall was closed for like a couple weeks, a week or two. So we decided, a group of us, seriously, like on any day, maybe 6 to 10 of us, we said we're going to go in front of our house in the morning. And so, we were not there to disturb her neighbors. We were there to speak to her because, well, you don't answer us. You won't speak to us. Now you've closed City Hall. We're coming to your house. And that's not unique. Like Walsh and Menino, people protested at their house. That's actually very, very common. But what the mayor did, what Michelle Wu did, was she ended up writing up an ordinance to restrict protesting, saying that we couldn't go through certain hours. Because we would come in the morning before she'd go to work, and a few minutes before she'd come out to her car, and we would protest what she's doing. We would ask her, well, what about these mandates, this, that, and the other? And, we're protesting. I raise my voice when I protest. That's me. I'm not going to stand there silently holding a sign.
Right.
It's a protest. So she would ignore us every day. So, but then she wrote up this ordinance. Now, the problem with that ordinance is it's actually illegal. It's unconstitutional. In the ordinance itself, it said that people would only get fined. Nobody got fined. She gave people citations, and then the next she just started arresting people. That's not even included in the ordinance. You can't do things that go against the law, go against the Constitution. That's not the way to go. If you would have spoken us to your constituents who pay your salary, if you would have just been a public servant and spoken to us, none of that would have happened. So my whole thing is, I don't expect everybody to agree with my opinions. You don't have to. This is America. You have your own opinion. Right. But I do expect those elected officials in office, you must honor the U.S. Constitution because you took an oath for that. The U.S. Constitution was written to protect us from having government overreach. This has gone too far. So if you're not doing that, I have to, me personally, I'm going to protest you. I'm going to stand up, and I am running for office because too many things are going wrong. You can't do that. I also have to mention, it's very important, the mayor also, a group of us found out that she put up a political hit list of citizens. I'm one of them, law-abiding citizens that were protesters. We had a feeling we were being targeted because certain times when we would protest, the cops would come up to us and know us by name automatically. But we did a public record, like a FOIA request was done. And we got the proof. There were emails sent from the mayor to the Boston Public Police listing citizens. I'm one of them, Catherine Vitale is one of them, Sean Nelson is one of them, and on this particular list it was like us and 15 other law-abiding citizens, those of us that protested. That's not right. That's conspiracy against citizens because you sent this to the Boston Police Department. Why? We're law-abiding citizens. We wouldn't have known, and if somebody it came out in a lawsuit for something else, someone did a FOIA request, we didn't know. So we protested that. We went to the mayor's office.
You know why she did that?
Oh, I believe it's because we were protesting her mandates.
She felt threatened.
Yes, because we were effective.
Right.
Now, when she was talked about this, she said that she felt physically threatened, but I'm telling you, we have videos of everything, none of us physically threatened her, lunged at her, anything. There were literally every morning in front of her house, she would have like about 10 cop cars or more every morning. We did not we're peaceful protesters. We protested, we were not physically threatening her or her children. So that was not true. She also said, when asked about it, she said, well, it was because of the Dorchester Day Parade last year, June of 2022, and said that she felt physically threatened. But again, we marched along the parade, which everyone's there, and we did protest walking through the whole parade. However, nobody committed any acts of violence. In fact, there was someone he happened to be a priest that assaulted one of us protesters, like literally. He was a priest and assaulted one, we had someone that was just playing the drums while we marched, and he assaulted him, hit him, and tried to take his drumsticks. But none of us did any, we would have been arrested. You know how many police were there right alongside us, next to us at the Dorchester Day Parade throughout the entire parade.
Wow.
So it's just not true. So, but I need to really talk about that so people know, and I just want people to know that is conspiracy against citizens as far as I'm concerned. This is alarming. This has been reported. Ironically, it hasn't been reported that much locally in Boston. But it has been reported in the UK, in news outlets, I've seen them, and also in Russia. They're shocked that in the United States of America, in Boston, that a mayor is targeting citizens. This can't happen. I want people just to know what's going on. You form your own opinion about it, but you need to know. And if the mayor can do that to us law-abiding citizens, what's to stop her doing it from you later if you happen to disagree? We can't live like this. This goes against what this country is supposed to be about.
Right. What's the first thing you know what, like you said before, I was just thinking about that. No fear, no limits, no excuses.
Yeah.
Could you clarify the no limits? Does that, what I'm thinking it means, you're not just running for city council, you're also planning on maybe taking it to a different level, like maybe running for mayor, governor yourself?
Well,
because you said no limits, I'm just
right. That's actually a very good question. When I said no limits, honestly, I wasn't thinking about going higher up as mayor. My thing is, but that's a good point. To me, no limits is there's no limit to what the people can do. Right. The people have the power.
That's right.
If I did choose to go for higher office later, I could do it. Like, it doesn't, you're free to make these decisions. Our country allows you to do that, which is amazing.
Of course.
That you, as a person who does not have a political background, that I can step up and run and allow whatever happens happen.
Right.
There are no limits to what the power of the people can do. And that goes on with no fear. Because I believe the power is always with the people, and we have to have our civil rights. There's no reason to fear. The people, we outnumber the establishment, so there's no reason to be afraid.
Right.
There's no limits. No excuses means we can't make excuses about, well, I was afraid to stand up and say anything because there's no excuse for that, because if there's more and more government overreach, you're going to regret it, because you're going to say, oh, back when we didn't have all these extra laws or mandates or restrictions, I could have just spoken up or talked to some of my neighbors and said, hey, let's see what we can do together. Can we go to City Hall and talk to people?
Right.
So no excuses, because if it gets to the point where more and more of your civil rights are taken, what are you going to do then?
Right.
You can't let it get to that point.
That's true.
So
I like that.
that's the way I feel.
That. Unfortunately, we run out of time, but I want to thank you for watching, and for those of you who have any questions or any concerns, please log on to our website. That's thebeamtv.com. That's thebeamtv.com. My name is Andre Hollywood Evans. I want to thank Ms. Padma Scott, City Council, from entertainment to politics. She's coming near you, so be prepared. Be prepared. If you got anything, again, please log on to our website if you have any questions, any concerns, at thebeamtv.com. thebeamtv.com. We'll see you again next week. Thank you for watching this particular edition of Community Insight.